Okay, so let's meditate. Take your attention inside. Bringing your attention down below your belly button. My shaman friend taught me this. Her name is Mika Karu. You can consider this home base safe place. And you can even put your hands over this energy center just below your belly button. Home base, safe place. So whenever you feel threatened by anything inside or outside, you take your attention to this place and you go home base, safe place. And you'll notice that, that funnel that we talk about where you pull all your energy from out of your head down to this energy center will activate so that you can use your breath to change your attention immediately when you feel threatened to anywhere inside or out. Feel how the energy in the whole call just changed because everybody took their attention down below their belly button. And now let it go down to the tip of the tailbone and breathe into that space all the way at the bottom of our spine, the tip of the tailbone. And as you inhale, it will gently go back. And as you exhale, gently go forward. But don't worry if you can't feel that. Eventually you will. And it may be that your tailbone is actually not moving, which happens quite frequently in the patients I see. So nothing to worry about. Health is still present. But just taking your attention there can actually open that center. So that's why we bring your attention to it quite literally. And now feel for the stillness between the breaths and allow it to expand throughout your being. And there you go, from home base to safe place to expanded experience. And from this place, allow yourself to connect with the center of the earth. Every part of our physicality is made from the earth, or we couldn't be here. And we're not separate from our physicality, but we're not limited to it either. And practicing connection to the center of the earth can get us in touch with how expanded we can be. When you're ready, gently bring your attention back to the tip of the tailbone. And then allow it to move up to home base, safe place. And now let's spend a few minutes in the sex chakra, which is in between the two. And it's a center of potent creativity, no matter what our age. Breathing into that center. Just feel for whatever's there. Then back to home base, safe place. Below our belly button. And when you're ready, your energy and attention will naturally move up to the solar plexus chakra. Just below our rib cage. Feel for the stillness between the breaths and allow that to be your guide into sacred space. When you're ready, your attention will naturally move to the heart center. And it's okay if your pace is not the same as mine. Take your time. This is time we are dedicated to loving our inner. This is our time to focus on our divine union with sacred space within us. Allowing it to inform us of our purpose in being on this earth. Which, of course, is to embody this union. There is no other purpose. Everything else is entertainment. When you're ready, gently move up to the throat center. And of course, whenever you notice any kinks anywhere, feel free to move and release. When you're ready, allow your attention to move up through the roof of your mouth to the third eye. In the center of your head, behind and between your eyebrows. When you're ready, gently allow the top of your head to open and allow your energy to expand upward in the same way that we reach downward to the center of the earth. And now take your attention to the experience of the energy moving through your system, however that is for you. You can be really simple, down the front, up the back. Harmonizing your breath with that. And now from this space, begin to feel the harmonic resonance between your heart center, the third eye, and the high heart, which is just at the top of the sternum, the bone, the breastbone. In between the heart and the third eye. It harmonizes our open hearts with our open mind. Bringing us to ever greater experience of wisdom. When you're ready, holding to this sacred space, gently open your eyes. How is everybody? So happy to be with you this morning. It's nice to be a little bit out of our minds, in a manner of speaking. Mhm. Just so you know, the high heart and the Anasa temple are quite related vibrationally. But you know, when we first met, we couldn't say go to the high heart. And of course, the Anasa temple is within you. How could it be otherwise? Everything is within us. What we see outside of us If we're in turmoil, it's a reflection of the work that needs to be done. When we're at peace, it's something different. It's whatever's happening. We welcome your input. Clearly, the pronouns have not been mastered yet, or maybe they have. You know, it's interesting because the definition of health, according to us, is range of motion in every field of being. The physical, whatever cards we've been dealt, maximizing our range of motion in our physical bodies leads to health. In our mental mind, being flexible, allowing the possibility that our perception might not be true, is a flexible mind. Emotionally, allowing the possibility that what we're feeling is our internal truth of the moment, but may not be a reflection of the external truth of the moment. Just having the room to question is healthy. That's health. Spiritually, having the flexibility to not assume that we know the spiritual answers for everybody else. That's important. So, flexibility across the spectrum of being a human being is healthy. That's health. So, the first thing we lose is our assumption of always being right. The last thing we lose is our assumption of always being right. How may we serve? What's going on? Anything? Everybody spent the week in bliss? Come on.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to be with you all.
Mm.
Well, I really mucked my stomach up a couple days ago by eating some watermelon, and I knew I was sensitive to it, but oh my gosh, I've had a full-blown allergic reaction. Not, I mean, itching and just my solar plexus is just knocked in. Um, so just been having to lay low. But I went out early to water and got the sprinklers on this morning and to really give it a good go and deep watering. And just after I turned it off, all my magical little birds show up. The hummingbird has a baby.
Mm.
The nuthatch has a baby.
Mm.
was just, I was just surrounded, and I tell you, my heart just,
Darn.
it did. Even though I was dying inside, this opening was just so lovely. Uh, I so appreciate the little critters around me. They remind me so much. Well, they know me, but also for coming out in abundance and just being around all those little wet plants and just sweet. So
Yeah, everything was thirsty.
yeah, yeah, going to be hot for the next 3 days.
Oh,
Um, but so juxtaposition with that, and it's always a wonderful reminder that this place can open up at any time. Just a little something so enjoyable can just I just sit down and just take it in, talk to them all, and it's just so
how wonderful.
yeah. So hopefully this will work itself out, or I may have to get in
The
touch with a
magic
very
is
good or I'll
the
have to get in
magic
touch
is
with a very good friend of mine over on your end.
yeah. But the magic is that they talk back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep.
Yeah.
I just talk to them, and I tell you, it just levels the playing field. It just is just lovely. So
The thing is you also listen.
yes.
It's not just a one-way conversation.
No.
That's what we're pointing out, that this is what sacred space
Yes.
offers.
Well, it's pretty wonderful, and I'm so grateful for it. I haven't seen everybody for a while, but putting the water on is like everyone came out and was like, "Wowee!" So that's my share.
Yippee, you saved us.
He saved me too.
Yeah. So sorry that you're in that compromised state.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting so sensitive. Uh, I just have and as I'm doing more work, I'm just more and more sensitive. And I,
There may be some deficiency like B or D or you might ask your
yeah.
friendly naturopath to check it out. There,
Well, I
there.
found I have this. Well, I'm allergic to the Timothy grass, and there's a connection to foods,
Mhm.
and watermelon's one of them. And I've had a little problem before. I just had a little cup of it, but that's enough for me. So
But
I
there's probably something like inositol or so. I mean, we're just looking. I wouldn't take this as an invitation to experiment. I would
yeah
take
yeah
it as an invitation to test things, but there
yeah.
is something that can pull you out of this experience
Hmm.
pretty quickly if you
Okay.
have it.
I'll talk with my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, we're hesitant to make
Yeah,
any suggestion because we don't want to make it worse.
yeah, yeah. I've had similar things before, but
Yes.
that hasn't been it hasn't been this intense. So Oh, I'm just making my way through it. And, but anyway, juxtaposition there. I just thought I'd share the
Yeah.
beauty at the other end of it.
Yes. And this is the double-edged sword of sensitivity.
Yeah,
Sensitivity cuts both ways.
it does. This too will pass. And it's
But
just
there,
good.
yeah, our point is there are things
Yeah,
that,
like a histamine or something. Well, I'll talk with.
yeah, something that you can take immediately. Somehow the B vitamins are leaping out this morning, but
Okay.
that may or may not be relevant.
Yeah, I have those. I'll test that.
I
Yeah.
can never tell what's personal and what's for somebody else this
Yeah.
morning, so I'm a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah. Thank you.
you're totally welcome. The moon is in Shatabisha Nakshatra, which is in Aquarius. And the Shatabisha Nakshatra is ruled by Rahu. And it's not Rebecca's favorite place. So information is not always to be trusted that comes through this filter. That's why we're a little bit cautious in our recommendations this morning. Rahu always makes us a little cautious, and it's quite powerful. For me personally, because I'm in my Mercury Rahu cycle. Mercury is the rational mind, but the second planet in this cycle is the one that has the most influence over our emotional experience. And since for most of us, our emotions drive our mind, when you're in a Mercury Rahu cycle, Rahu is in the driver's seat. And so you have to question your rational mind frequently to make sure you're not headed into something you don't really want to be involved in yourself. I know all the astrology is difficult. Rahu is insatiable desire, and Mercury is the rational mind. So, of course, there are other things too, but if, we keep it simple, then that's the way to look at it, to question our behavior and our attractions and aversions, because desire and aversions are just the flip side of the same coin. How may we serve?
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm just thinking about what you guys just said and I'm kind of on the other spectrum of in the K2 cycle and kind of
Mhm.
headless here. Um and I just feel like more so than ever I'm not hearing what things are trying to be shared, and it's not out of lack of effort, it's more of a like it's just silent, and I'm asking like, what are you trying to tell me here? Um, like for example, I was on this hike and there was this beautiful young coyote. It was so close, so very close, staring at me and my friend, and I was like, what do you have to tell me, man? And it just kind of was like, and it just kind of scratched itself and like walked away. And then it just kept staring. And I'm like, tell me, what is the message? And things like that, and maybe its presence in itself was a message, but
Exactly. Its presence in itself and your ability to connect to that presence. And that presence transcends language. So expecting some language experience or some idea or but it is the feeling itself that attracted the coyote, that you were in communication, that you could look in that coyote's eyes, and that is the experience of oneness. There's no message there except ultimate reality, that you're in it. Does that make any sense? Ultimate reality is headless. It doesn't have any messages for us except there. It's the experience itself. So this is a confirmation when a coyote comes to you and connects, stays in the stillness for even a minute with you. That is a confirmation of your union, that you would attract such an experience. Got
thank
it?
yeah, thank you.
Everything that you're doing is right for you at this moment. The fact that you are surrounded by question marks is the nature of K2. That's why it's so uncomfortable. K2 is the lunar opposite of Rahu. They are both eclipse points, and Rahu is insatiable desire, and K2 is the desire for enlightenment. So K2 causes us to question everything. And the most common response in ourselves with K2 is no. We don't want anything from the outside world, or I don't understand, or nothing has value. These are all kind of K2 experiences. And so to just know that you're on the right path and it's just one foot in front of the other, completion is in sight. And enjoy the ride as much as you can, because the connection that you are experiencing to the all that is, because it's boundless, it feels like there's nothing there. And so you're not getting any feedback. But what feedback is possible when you have the experience of boundlessness? of no boundaries. That is the feedback. But the only message which you've already accomplished is to continue on your chosen path, do what's necessary for completion as well as you possibly can, one foot in front of the other, and allow your internal experience to be what it is without judgment. That there's something missing because there's nothing there. Those are not the same. Potency is what's there. Dynamic stillness.
That's so very helpful and comforting.
Well, you can resonate with the truth of it, right?
Right.
Okay. That's the important thing.
There is one thing, which is when it is time to make a decision, especially a large one, perhaps choosing a place to live. It is hard to know definitively because there's the nothingness, and previously in my experience, it's been quite clear on like what to choose.
Well, you walk into the place, and if you expand, it's right. And if you contract, it's wrong.
Hmm.
How's that?
Simple enough. Thank you.
Because having an expansive, creative place to live means you can breathe freely. And you need your living space to be a retreat from all the chaos of what you experience in your daily life. You need a home-based safe place. So if you feel that, that's the right space. If you don't, keep looking. Does that help?
Tremendously.
How may we serve further? Oh, in case you guys haven't figured it out, we always have the same login every week, so you don't have to wait for the email. That's just a reminder. So if you just save the login, and if we change it, I'll let you know. But you can always get in. I haven't yet gotten to the place where I said my, sorry?
No, you continue. I'll wait.
No, please speak.
Um, okay, so I have a question about inviting someone, other people to the session. Our son and daughter-in-law just completed a transcendental meditation course and they're practicing it now. And I was so pleased to find out that they both are open to the spiritual practice. I hadn't known about that before this. It's kind of like it was a really nice surprise. Um, they are both amazing people. They were the ones who took care of my mom, his grandma, at the end of her life, and have been so helpful to us um, together. But I don't know how it works to, I haven't suggested it to them. I'm not sure that we've even talked about our meetings or
We
anything.
mentioned it.
We've mentioned it, yes, so they know it exists. But I know that along with their meditation practice, it would be a wonderful thing to have somewhere to bring any questions that they have. And so, anyway, that's my question.
Everyone
And I'm
is
plugging you back in,
okay.
so it'll take a second.
Okay, well, wait a second before we talk. Can you hear us? Okay, everyone is always welcome. People self-select. Everybody's invited. I invite everybody I meet. You can invite everybody you meet too. Now, timing is important. There has to be some willingness, they have to come. And whether or not they come the first time has to do with your picking the right time. And the right time has everything to do with flow. And it's the flow between you, not the flow between us. So you feel for that resonance in them. Oh, they want to hear about what we're doing. There has to be some question about what you're doing that's making you, that supports your spirituality. And if there's any interest, then please. And there's no time that it's inappropriate for them to come, really, because people experience what they experience, and they might, come and then a year later go, oh, let's investigate that again. You just never know how things are going to hit people. So there's really no bad time, and I mean there are better times and worse times, but you know, it's available to everybody. And what's beautiful is that the people who come regularly now have a solid base of energetic awareness. And so there's this expanded community that can hold space for people who come in newly and, you know, are not like greedy for attention. And so there's space, there's an opening and a depth of practice that's here that we didn't have in the beginning. So it really can be supportive to new people. So we're totally open to it. You know, we send the invitation to a lot of people who never come, but they keep wanting the invitation, so we sent it. And, you know, if there's one person here, we'll have the class. So that's how it is. And it's not up to me who comes or how long they come or anything. I can't afford to have any energy invested in that.
Okay, so I don't know how to go about this, but my sister uh, connected us with you, so she would know the procedure.
Oh, no, all you do is you forward the email. There is an arrow at the
The email,
bottom. There's an arrow at the bottom of the email that we send you. There's an
right?
arrow at the bottom of every email that you get. And you hit
Okay.
that arrow and it gives you a choice between reply and forward. And reply will send it back to us, and forward gives you the opportunity to send it to someone else.
Okay, so I don't know when or how or
Right.
anything at this point, but just to know that it's really easy
It's
is
really
great.
easy, and all you do is forward the email. And if they're interested, you email us and we'll put them on the list so that they get reminded.
Oh, okay. So after that, we email them and I mean
Or they
Rebecca
can,
and
the, the best is if they email us and ask to be on the list.
okay.
Once they've, you know, once you've emailed them and they come, and then they email us and ask to be on the list, because if it comes from them, then it's real.
Yes. Yes. Excellent. That's very clear and easy and wonderful. Um, we
And there's
were
nobody
member
not welcome.
what? There's
There's
nobody that's
nobody.
not welcome. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I knew that they would be welcome. I just didn't know how to proceed with it. The we belonged for several decades to what's called a talking circle that met regularly and was extremely helpful. It whittled down to some of us older folk, about uh, five of us. Um, and at one point, I mentioned to Jordan and Roseanne, and they were up for attending. And one of the members was reluctant to invite anybody new and just wanted to stay with the old guard, was comfortable there. So we didn't proceed with that. But anyway, so this is the open place.
This is the open
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
And because we understand that anybody new who comes, we all benefit. There's no downside. I mean, people come in and they may need a lot of attention, have a lot of questions. We're probably going to attract somebody that, you know, none of us wants. But growth is something that happens with exposure and over time, and you never know who can do it and who can't. And people self-select here.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Well, I think that everybody here would be very pleased to know them.
Of course, of
And
course.
yeah, they are not attention seekers. They are um, beautiful.
Seekers.
They are seekers, right? But they are very calm beings. Anyway,
They're
thank you so
finders.
much.
They're
Yeah, they're
finders.
finders. Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you, love.
Mm. By the way, we don't ever expect that anybody that Rebecca is related to will ever come. Just, that's just a piece of information. Because who we're related to and how they behave has everything to do with the karma we came into this life with, and nothing to do with how we're expressing it now. Whether or not our family of origin can come with us in our spiritual quest is not up to us. That doesn't mean we don't do our best. But, after a certain point, we drop our expectations, and that serves everybody. It makes life a lot less complicated. And there are important ways in which we cannot allow our family of origin to limit our personal growth. We just can't allow it. At the same time, we do our best to keep the flow going. And if we can, great. And if we can't, that's okay too. Yes, of course.
Well, great discussion this morning. It's always so nice to get together on our lovely meetings. I wonder if anyone's thought about what weekend we could get together. Like maybe, we talked about doing a breakfast or bring something and do at your place, hosting
Yes.
the 24th or the 31st.
Uh,
So just throwing it out there.
yeah, we're out of town on the 21st. Are you talking about September?
No, August, near
August
the end of the month.
21st. August
The-
21st is a Thursday.
I'm sorry, I meant the 24th or the 31st. We don't have to decide right now.
How are you on the 24th, Andrew?
We could think about this.
Well, no, I think it's worthy of a date if we can find one. Yes. Oh yeah, we're still out of town. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 31st.
The 31st. Yeah, that's possible. How's that?
Well, mill
how's
it
that?
about.
How's that look for everybody online? We could just do an in-person class and have a potluck.
Yeah, I'd like, that would be very, very nice.
Can you guys come in?
Pam and Wells?
Yeah.
As far as I know, we can. I haven't looked at our calendar. The 31st is the weekend of our 60th wedding anniversary.
Oh my God.
So,
Woo-wee!
Congratulations.
Jeez!
yeah, well,
It can be done.
And it is done.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I'm flabbergasted. If you would be interested in coming that day, great, but we can do it another day if you want to celebrate another way.
it would be wonderful to celebrate it with you guys. I mean, totally appropriate. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be in a celebratory mood. It's not the exact day anyway, but you know, if we can make it there, right?
Yeah.
It's really up to Wells, uh, whether he's up to it. But that sounds wonderful. I would love to see everybody in person. I really have so much affection just doing this
I,
FaceTime stuff. So it would be
I
really nice
agree.
to be in the physical presence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so we'll send an invitation. We'll think about how many people we're gonna invite. I mean,
right.
probably everybody who's regularly on the call. But yes, and we'll make sure you all have our address, and we'll confirm the date. Maybe next week we can
Okay.
confirm the date together. And so, somebody please bring it up because we're likely to forget.
Okay.
We get lost in time and space quite right
Great.
during this program.
Thank you.
Okay, great. And so just to let you know, since we're in the scheduling mode, we're not here the 24th. We will be here next week and we will be here the 31st, but not the 24th. We'll be in Sedona, Arizona at a Vedic astrology conference for a week. Getting saturated.
I had a different question, not having to do with scheduling.
Please.
I'm just curious about perhaps your thoughts on um, this whole kind of like manifestation period that people are talking about called the Lion's Gate. And does that have, it's kind of like a buzzy thing in astrology and spiritual communities. And I just, I feel it. I feel there's a power with this full moon. But is there anything that Vedic astrology has to say about this?
Specifically in Rebecca's experience, which is still considered quite limited, it's a Western astrology concept, and there is uh, this is this is a powerful full moon in that uh, exactly what day is it?
It happened on the 8th. I should say the peak of it was the 8th, but it started the 27th of July, and I have no idea when it's going to end.
Okay, well, we're in Aquarius in Vedic astrology, and Pisces is considered the natural 12th house. So this transit between Aquarius of the moon going through Aquarius and Pisces is it's significant in that it's a it's the end of a cycle. We're not exactly seeing we can't describe exactly which cycle, but there is a cycle that's ending, which of course is the beginning of something new. So it's a profound time of death and rebirth for a large, we don't even know how to describe it. We can just say it's a death and rebirth cycle that involves large portions of the earth. You know, we can see why it would be called a portal. And we'll say with that portal that certain information becomes available that's not always accessible to everyone. But to people who tend to already have access, the portal represents expanded awareness, which we're all feeling in this moment. And, you know, the expanded awareness is always about union with capital S self. And so that's the important thing about any portal, is that, you know, it exposes us to the participation of a death and rebirth cycle within ourselves, in alignment with the small s, capital S within ourselves. And that's what's important about any portal. Is that helpful?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. It's always like, what, I don't know. Yeah. Mm, It's always fun to celebrate astrological changes.
They are happening, you know, to a greater or lesser degree all the time. You know, everything is constantly a dynamic process because everything's moving through the sky. And some things are happening at this time that haven't happened, especially for our country, that haven't happened for several centuries. So that's why we're seeing, you know, the astrology of the United States is in the same place that it was at the time of the Revolutionary War. So we're seeing a reenactment of the choice between tyranny and taxation in a quite literally, you know, it's happening in a very literal way in our lives. It's so interesting. And so if you kind of look at it from that perspective, hopefully we'll have a similar outcome that's even better than what, you know, what existed before, because what existed before was not perfect. And this gives us a chance to reinvent the whole thing with a much more expanded idea of what inclusivity is. You know, we were sort of headed toward there, but a lot of it wasn't working that well for most people. And so, you know, now it's not working for anybody, but but we may have to go through that to get to something better. You know, everything goes through death and rebirth. So we have the curse of living at a very interesting time. And so how it affects us personally will, it's being revealed. We hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Yeah.
But that's the politics, from looking at the US chart over time. And that's one of the values of Vedic astrology, because it's always congruent with what's happening in the sky. We can look at something that happened 200 years ago and say, oh my God, it's exactly what's happening again, but in a different way, in its own way.
Hi, I have a question that's sort of um, on this topic. What's been coming up for me is people talk a lot about community nowadays in all forms of it. And I was looking to see what my community is. And I realized that it's scattered about everywhere. A lot of the participants I don't even know personally, but I can feel that there is a what there is this part of humanity that is definitely working, well, I'll just say working to make things better. We contribute to a lot of them because it's kind of like they're doing things that we can't actually physically do. And I realize that that is my community, and I'm worried about our community. I feel like it's really uh, just oppressed at this point and not able to make an impact. For example, I mean, what you were talking about, referring to the Revolutionary War, what's needed is a conscious objective of unity, which is what that was ostensibly about on the physical level. And I just see there's so many obstacles. And I mean, the big obstacle is our government at this point, just making wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong. I mean, it's almost like, well, what am afraid of is that it's going to take decades to turn the ship around, so that it's going in the right direction again, which is acting from love, as best as we all can. And anyway, so I'm just putting that out there because it's been coming up for me a lot about what our community is and
So,
how how it's manifesting. I'm going to plug you back in, so in a minute.
okay. So this is up for all of us every day, because we don't want to tune it out, because tuning it out means losing it. Really. At the same time, we don't want to invest all our energy in it because we don't have that much energy to give. And so what you're doing is exactly right. What we do have to give, we give. but we focus on the love within ourselves. We don't waste our energy going in circles about things we have no impact, because we do have impact when we concentrate on the love in ourselves and we participate in this field of expansion. Every day, we are making it more available to everybody on the planet. And this is really our major contribution, is to keep ourselves in the highest alignment we possibly can, and to share that with everybody we possibly can. And as that expands, the real change that we're looking for, which is a life based on the understanding that the only thing that's really important is the love that we share. I mean, that's really the only thing that's important. But, you know, saying that will get us locked in a loony bin at this moment. And so we just hold to it within ourselves, and we share it where appropriate, and we don't where not appropriate, and we don't waste our energy worrying, because anxiety doesn't help anything. It lowers our own frequency so that we can't participate in the best way. Now, of course, every single one of us goes there regularly. So that's, we rescue ourselves, we get back on our pillow, and we pull ourselves into ultimate reality, into the stillness. And, you know, this whole concept of home-based safe place is about that reset that we need to do all the time. And, you know, we're trying to build some factors into the practice that make it easy. You know, you take your breath, home base, safe place. We're there, into the stillness. You just sink into the stillness. And then you're here reset, just that fast. And then there's another thing we want to share with you, and we want to do it as we're coming to the end of our program, is that when we get up from meditation, we want to pull our energy back in, because we've been in this expanded state. If we go out to the world in this expanded state, everybody else's everything is immediately going to become ours. So what we do is we pull our energy in. You know, we do it with our physical body. We pull it in. We pull it in front, side. We close a little bit. We don't close all the way. We just tuck ourselves in a little bit, as though we've put a cocoon around ourselves. And we hold that when we enter any other space, so that our sacred space is held a little bit. We're not available to every looky-loo that walks past us. Okay, so, and that seems like a very appropriate way to bring our program to a close today, because we can feel it. Everybody's tucked in. This is nice, and it's important, and we've kind of left it out because we're so busy on, you know, exposing you to the experience of what's available, that now we need to protect it. Okay, because if we're too open, then we're picking up everybody else's everything, and we can't have that. And then the thing to do, it happens to us all the time, so at least once a day, everything that's not mine, go. For a few minutes, let it really go. So that's how we keep clean in this. We need energetic showers just like physical ones. Thank you so much. We have loved being with you today, every second of it. We value this experience so much, being with you. So much love to you. Bye for now. We'll see you next week, if not sooner.